Welcome back to Forbidden Knowledge News. I'm your host, Chris Matthew. Tonight I want to welcome back to the show Jonny Enoch. He's a clinical hypnotherapist, esoteric researcher, and writer that has been researching extraterrestrial phenomenon and esoteric subjects for over 20 years. After witnessing a series of unexplainable events while growing up, his search for answers led him on adventures all over the world. His work demonstrates that we have been visited by advanced civilizations all throughout human history and that we are a hybrid species. Jonny, welcome back, and how are you tonight?
It's always good to be here. I'm doing great, just making the best out of the quarantine and, doing all those sort of activities that we all put off to be more productive. How about you? How have you been taking things?
Oh, I have been just extra productive. I've been working on the conference, doing extra shows, just like you said, trying to make the best of everything, trying to better myself in the process as well. And I'm super excited to have you on right now. We're going to go deep tonight, and I hope the audience is prepared here. I wrote down a little introduction that I want to read just because of how profoundly the information that you presented kind of hit me. It resonated with me so much. So if you look back at human history, not only the history that we're taught through our false matrix education system, I'm talking about the real history that researchers like yourself uncover and reveal to the world. It seems that humans have, as far back as we can tell, been being modified, manipulated, indoctrinated, and whatever this hidden hand is, it steers humanity in a desired direction whenever it wants. I believe that there have been many times throughout history that us humans have actually awakened to their slavery, realized their true power and potential, and these beings, whatever you want to call them, weren't happy with this at all, and wiped out most of humanity through the massive cataclysms that we've seen throughout history and started this experiment over. Now you fast forward to today. I believe that this year, 2020, these controllers, whoever they are, human, non-human, they're implementing something that has been planned for many years, I believe, decades or more. Something to once again steer humanity in a desired direction. And when you hear things like New World Order, One World Government, Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, these theories that, myself and so many researchers have been talking about and warning and fearing for years, it appears to be unfolding right now. But I came across a few of your posts on Facebook, and after reading them, they really got me thinking. In fact, the first night I read them, I couldn't sleep. It really resonated with me that much. It even brought back these strange visions that of the future that I used to have as a kid. Wow. I used to have these strange visions of this dystopian future that it appears we're moving towards. And I know tonight we have to be extremely careful with how we discuss this, the wording we use, just so I don't get deplatformed. But
absolutely,
Jonny, give us just a brief synopsis of the information you have. But first, if possible, how did you come across this information, if you could tell us?
Well, Chris, I have a number of sources, many sources I go through that I get briefings on. I also work with remote viewers. I work with people that are in extraordinary places. And so as a researcher, I'm pulling from many different areas as well as using my own resources. So it's interesting what you said at the beginning, and I think that that's a great caveat to start off with, is that this has been happening for a very long time on our planet. And what I mean by that is I've been trying to tell people that, as I've been told, that much of what happens on our planet right now, the changes that even what you're seeing right now, this never happened overnight. This was something that was planned for a very long time, and the directions for it came from about 3,000 light years away from here. And a lot of it gets trickled down into our power structures that way. And the reason is that if any of you have ever watched Star Trek, you'll be familiar with something known as the Prime Directive, where these folks, or non-human intelligence, they won't get involved with the development of a civilization like us. We're like a great zoological experiment. Essentially, they could watch us just like a television show. And so they won't directly get involved with us, but let's just say that many groups are influencing us. And to give you guys sort of an example of that, we can go back into even our biblical stories. If you go back into the book of Genesis in the Bible, which is written about the 4th and 6th centuries BCE, it's got events in there that are hundreds and thousands of years apart. It actually comes from the Sumerian and Numalish. It's a book it's rather fascinating. So we're talking Sumerian here, or Sumerian. When you go back into the beginning of the Bible, it's saying that there was these visitors that came to earth, and they were known as the Elohim. The Elohim is a plural. It doesn't say the all-encompassing God in there. It doesn't say that throughout there. It says the Elohim came here. And it said that when they visited the earth, they weren't creating it from scratch either when they were visiting here. It said essentially they were terraforming things and fixing it up because a lot of Christians out there that read their Bible, they'll see it says that the earth was void and without form, but that comes from a term called tohu vavohu. And tohu vavohu is more correctly translated to waste and destruction. It says that they were recreating the earth. Furthermore, it says that they were making man, or when they were making man or ish, they said they were making it in our image. What it was saying actually is that there already existed a type of creature. We had, whether we want to talk about chimpanzees, apes, we want to talk about primitive hominids, when we can all go back into Neanderthal, Denisovan, we go back into Homo erectus and everything else like that. They were essentially giving an upgrade to man that was on earth, but they said, let's make him in our image. Moreover, in the Hebrew, when you look at this translation, it says they were creating ADM, or Adam. This was a race of people, the Adamic race. It was not just one person. So it's a very interesting thing that we see that there's a recreation after a cataclysm of destruction. It even says, as you go further in the Bible, it says in the days of Peleg, it says in Genesis that the continents were divided, that there was this great continental diffusion of culture.